Jinyu Jansan Pemage Sardon Bulan Yatsin Shoginu Drugye Pemajun Neje Sudra Kodu Kandra Mango Keki Jesuda Drugi Jinji Lepchir Shek Suso Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ojin Yojin Nup Jamsam Pema Ge Sardam Ola Yatsen Shogin Num Drubye Pema June Sudra Kodu Kandro Mag Ogor Keki Jesuda Drugi Jinji Lepchir Shek Suso Guru Pema Siddhi Om Om Ahum Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi 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 Om Ahum Om Ahum Om Ahum Happy Sunday, everybody. If you are on Facebook or you are on Twitter or YouTube, I guess I could bring the mic to my mouth. Remember that this is the first week that we are running on Zoom as well. So if you haven't gotten on the Zoom, I suggest you go to the Zoom and actually go to kansascitybuddhistcenter.com, go to events, upcoming events, and click on today's service, and it'll pop up, give you a little link to the Zoom. So we will be having a little additional time on the Zoom for some question and answer, that sort of thing. So it will be cool. It's the first time we've done kind of a satsang like that in a while, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, be good. So, can everybody on Zoom hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Good. Thanks, Jimmy. Well, let's, as always, begin our service by ringing the bell 3 times, allowing the sound and vibration to call us to this moment, call us to our seats, and call us to this path of momentary awakening. We'll begin with the path clearing and wish fulfilling prayer to Padmasambhava, followed by our refuge prayer once in Tibetan and 3 times in English. Dosum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Nungdrup Kundak Dewa Chen Pojab Barche Kunsel Dodo Drakmotsel Solwan Depso Jinji Laptu Sol Chinang Sangwei Barche Jiwadang Sampalunji Drupa Jinji Lub. Precious Guide, one with all the Buddhas of the 3 times, blissful presence and source of all spiritual accomplishments, fierce destroyer of illusion who dispels every obstruction, we pray to you for blessing, inspiration, and realization. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles and spontaneously fulfill our aspirations. Sangye Chodang Soki Choknam Ha Zhongchu Bardu Dakni Kapsu Chi Dakji Jinso Gipe Sonam Ki Drola Pinshir Sangye Drupar Shok. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. The great Yogi Milarepa sang, "My body is the holy mandala itself, wherein resides all the Buddhas of all times. With their blessings, I am freed from all needs and attachments. By day and night I offer them up. Happy am I to do without material things, knowing that all beings in the 6 realms of samsara are inherently Buddhas, and all the 3 worlds, the self-creating, measureless Trikaya Palace. Whatever I do is the play of the Dharma Dhatu, ultimate reality. Whoever I'm with is the Yidam deity. Wherever I stay is the Buddha's abode. Happy am I to forego outer supports, rituals, and symbols." So as we begin our practice today, it's important to note that the journey, the time spent right here in this moment, is the most important. Training ourselves, retraining ourselves to be here in this moment. We're one of the beings that walk the earth that are distracted by the past and the future. Thoughts of both arising and taking us unconsciously on these time-traveling journeys. But instead, we want to retrain ourselves to be here and now for the sole reason that we can get into the interactive play of our own karma. So as things arise, we can actively and mindfully react and respond in ways that we wouldn't necessarily if we were unconsciously somewhere else, and allowing things just to roll off the road. So, as we begin our mantra chanting this morning, utilize that tool, that doing that's happening in this moment, the doing of chanting, making sound and vibration, singing, whatever you're doing, mindfully do it, here and now. Be aware of the vibration, be aware of the heat of your own breath, be aware of your breathing that propels the sound and vibration. So, as we chant this morning, we'll chant Om Benzar Sato Hung, which is a purification chant directed toward the deity, the Bodhisattva deity that is Vajrasattva. And we're calling in this purity of this moment, remembering to leave the toxic stains and neuroses that arise with thoughts of the past or plans for the future, that we leave those aside and see our own reactions as the obstacles themselves. Om Benzar Sato Hung, 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 Om Benzar Satohung, 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 Om. Close your eyes, straighten your spine, begin taking long, slow breaths into your lower belly, naturally breathing. Natural body, not too tight, not too loose. Natural breath and energy flowing freely. A natural heart-mind, open and curious, non-judgmental, allowing yourself to just see through. In seeing through, we are through. Past all of the obscurations of our own neuroses, our own fears, allowing everything to be without desiring that it change. Noticing all the clinging and grasping that the ego leads us to. Thoughts that make us believe that we're separate or that we're broken. Breathe in and out into the groundless, boundless wholeness and completeness of this moment. You see, there's nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. Nothing to be or become. Nothing to learn or graduate from. Just sitting and breathing and being fully present each moment of true understanding, true awareness. It's a moment of true enlightenment. Moment by moment. Hum. Om Mani Padme 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 Hum. By the blessings of the Triple Gem, may the minds and hearts of all beings be attuned to the sublime Dharma. Bless us to move forward on the path of true understanding. May the way be cleared of all impediments. Bless us that the elusive vision may appear in the light of the transcendent wisdom of Buddha. May unskillful thoughts and actions cease to arise. Bless us with the awakening of true love and compassion. May all beings realize perfect enlightenment. So, the jewel is in the lotus. That Om Mani Padme Hum chant, that song that we sing, that chant that we recite. What does it mean? The jewel is in the lotus. Does that mean we should go and buy a bunch of lotus flowers and look within their petals to see if there's a pearl in there, a magic pearl? Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? But that's not what it means. The jewel, the emerald, the diamond, the ruby, the material thing is not the material thing. The lesson is in the lotus. So think about that lotus flower just sitting there in stillness, not doing anything, not thinking about the past and not thinking about the future. It's sitting there in mud, dampness, wetness, and it is where it is. It's not thinking about moving. It's not thinking about how it doesn't like its neighbor. It's not thinking about that it doesn't like its condition and wants it to be changed, or that it wants to be bigger, or that it wants to be smaller, or that it wants to live longer. It's just existing here and now, without attachments, without craving, without suffering, in conditions that we wouldn't probably like. Maybe the sun shines enough to get past your feet in the cold mud all the time. So what's the real lesson? If we think about ourselves sitting on our seats like this, stilling ourselves, quieting ourselves, attempting to quiet our minds, to cut down some of the noise. But then what arises in that stillness? Discomfort, suffering. I think one of the most prevalent things for me with sitting in that silence is one of the things that I'm aware now that arises almost immediately as emotion. Could be any emotion. It could be very happy for the experience of sitting in quiet. Maybe it's the location I'm sitting and I'm enjoying that. I'm thinking right now of amazing retreats that I was on in amazing places. And there weren't all the usual distractions of phones ringing and Amazon trucks pulling up and ringing the doorbell to let you know that there's a package, the dog's barking, and chaos. There's not all of that. So maybe it's joy, serenity, that cool that arises, that emotional But maybe it's discomfort. Maybe it's you're not used to sitting with just yourself. and there's a discomfort that arises, and typically you would distract yourself with the scrolling of your phone, or the reading of a book, or the chewing of the potato chips, whatever it might be. We tend to want to distract ourselves from feeling that emotion. Maybe grief arises, maybe loneliness arises, maybe irritation. What is it for you when you sit, close your eyes and sit still and allow that which is normally pushed down to bubble up? What is it? So as you sit, I want to give you the instruction and the idea of that emotion to be like the mud that the lotus sits in. We all sit in our emotional responses. We all have emotions. They're not good or bad. They're just emotions. Reactions. Reactions to our situations, reactions to our beliefs of self, our grasping, our clinging. Grief arises because we don't want things to change. We don't want those we love to go away. But impermanence is real. And we all feel that. Or maybe there's a threat that something might go away that you want to desperately hold on to. Or maybe there's a craving that you feel that this isn't enough and that you want more. You want the experience of being rich, the experience of being, I want to be more calm, I want to be happy. So there's a craving and a longing that arises. Mud. All around. Mud. And what I'll tell you is that we need to become familiar with our own mud. And through the practice of simply sitting and letting the mud arise, whatever it may be. Happiness that we don't want to lose, unhappiness that we want to change, grief that we want to go back in time, fear, maybe of mortality or sickness, old age. We don't really like change unless it's good. And then we want to hang on to that and it'll change. But the familiarity of our surroundings comes in that stillness, in that meditative stillness where we just see things as they are, see the arising experience of emotions, sensations, our clinging, grasping, craving, our own suffering. We bring that into the light of awareness. And that doesn't make it go away. But as we become more familiar with it, we can find a bit of ease in ourselves. You see, this moment that arises with pure potential. It doesn't arise with stains or baggage of the past. That's us, the ego that places that into the experience. So you can see the difference between ultimate consciousness, ultimate reality, that pure potential that every moment is pristine, pure, unstained, unbiased, has no preference, that arises in this moment. It's us that brings in this relative being, this relative consciousness of experience, and our cycle of suffering, of craving, attachment, clinging, grasping. So as we become more familiar, that's what that is. That's my emotional reaction. That's an emotional reaction to my humanity, to my human beingness. And we can spot that and identify it as what it is in the light of awareness. So we can let that pure potential shine through into the beingness of this moment, because it's unceasing. In the teachings, we call that consciousness big mind. Big mind, the consciousness that is all-pervading, doesn't begin or end, ceaseless. And small mind is this mind, brain, our brain that thinks it knows how to navigate through clinging and grasping and craving, attachment. So both of these exist simultaneously. Big mind allows us to see small mind. Be certain that when you're seeing small mind, when you're seeing the experience of your thoughts, feelings, sensations, and emotions, that when you're seeing those, you are seeing them with and through the lens of that big mind that is unbiased. No preference, just seeing, just experiencing, just knowing. When we can identify those as clinging, grasping, and craving, then we are operating from that big mind. One lives within the other. Both exist simultaneously. So allow yourself to see that. Allow yourself to see the pure potential of the lotus growing and the mud that surrounds it as part of the growing and necessary for the growing. So we have an opportunity in each moment to identify that experience as our own obstacles, our obscurations. So allow that to sink in and invite it as you learn to sit with whatever arises. It's perfect in its existence. Allow yourself to just be aware. There it is. Mud. Emotion, sensation, you tag it and let it be as it is. Not craving for its change. Allow it to be. Yeah. So the jewel is in the lotus. Ponder that. Think about that. What is the lotus? Who is the lotus? Am I the lotus? Am I the mud? Am I the lotus and the mud? Ponder. Am I nothing of the two? Am I the observer that sees the mud, sees the lotus, sees the bloom? So ponder it. This path is yours to ponder, but you must do so. Don't just listen to what I say and, oh, that's what it is. You must ponder it. You must come to your realization, your own realization of your own grasping, clinging, craving, attachment. Remember, write it down somewhere. Attachment equals suffering. Period. There is no more and no less to that teaching. So, ponder that one too. As much as you can. With all that, let's begin to close this practice. And for those that are on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, or if you're watching right on our website, make sure you go to our upcoming events on kansascitybuddhistcenter.com and click on the link for today's service, and there's a Zoom link where we're going to have some discussion. So, if you haven't done that yet, do that. And we'll begin to close with the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa and Longchenpa, the prayer for 10 accomplishments by Lama Surya Das, and our bodhicitta dedication. Bless and empower us that our minds and hearts turn toward the Dharma. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path. Bless and empower us that that path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that that confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness. The prayer for 10 accomplishments. May we realize true sincerity and integrity, inner purity of mind, dispassionate equanimity toward all we see, right understanding of this dreamlike world and the next, loving compassion toward others, and the genuine intention to be helpful in alleviating suffering and confusion. May we directly perceive the truths of impermanence, mortality, and interconnectedness. Relinquish wandering thoughts and rampant desires. Accomplish freedom of mind and clarity of spirit. Remember with gratitude those who have gone before and shown the way, and vow to reach together full and complete enlightenment. Zhangchup sem chokrim poche, makye panam ke gyurchik, ke panyam parme payam, gongne gongdu perwar shok. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion, unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Body, speech, and mind directed toward awakening and for the benefit of all beings without one single exception. All right, my friends, we're going to jump to the Zoom, and we're going to have a little satsang. So if you want to join, go right to kansascitybuddhistcenter.com, click that link on upcoming events. Today's event is the upcoming event, and you'll see us right there.